So let's move on to the next question, guys. In this question, we are given that y to the power 4 is a 2-digit positive odd integer, right? Okay. We also know that n is less than 99 and n is divisible by y square, right? And we have to find out the sum of the digits of n and 9, right? Okay. Now tell me one thing, that y to the power 4 is a 2-digit positive odd integer, right? So for example, if I take y is equals to 1, right? Then what will be y to the power 4? Y to the power 4 will be 1, right? And but we know y to the power 4 is a 2-digit odd integer. So this is not possible. For example, if we take y is equals to 2, then y to the power 4 will be what? 2 to the power 4, which is 16. 16 is although 2-digit, but it is not odd, it is even. So not possible because we want odd and this is even, right? Okay, perfect. For example, y is equals to 3, right? So what will be y to the power 4? Y to the power 4 will be 3 3 is a 9, 27, 81, 81. So tell me, 81 is a 2-digit. It is a 2-digit. It is positive odd integer. Absolutely right. So y is equals to 3 is possible, right? Okay. Let's talk about y is equals to 4. So y to the power 4 will be what? 16. 4 4 is 16. 16 for 64. 256. Obviously, this is not possible because it is a 3-digit number and we want 2-digit. So the only possible thing which we are getting is this. I hope this should be very clear, right? Now we know that n is divisible by y square, right? So what is y square? Y square becomes 9, right? And n is divisible by y square. N is divisible by y square means n is a multiple of y square. If n is divisible by y square, for example, y square was 19. So if let's say n is equals to 19, n is equals to 18. So obviously 18 is divisible by y square, obviously. Similarly, 27 is divisible by y square, which is 9. So basically, if it is written n is divisible by y square, this means that n is a multiple of y square, right? That is why it is divisible. So that means that n is a multiple of y square, right? Multiple means, for example, y square is what? 9, right? So that means n is a multiple of 9. Multiple of 9 means n can be 9, n can be 18, n can be 27, 9 4 is 36, and so on. Like, so n is a multiple of 9, means 9 1 is 9, 9 2 is 18, 9 3 is 27, 9 4 is 36, and so on, right? Now we have to tell sum, so n can be any of these values, right? What are the sum of the digits of n? So if you see the sum of the digits, this is a single digit, so the sum is 9. These are 2 digits, so sum of the digits is what? 8 plus 1, which is 9. These are 2 digits, the sum is 2 plus 7, 9. So basically, if you see any number multiple of 9, the sum of the digits will always be 9. For example, if you say, I don't know, maybe let's suppose 1800, right? So obviously 1800 and is a multiple of 9, right? So basically 1800 is what? 9 into 200, right? So 1800 is a multiple of 9. So if you see 1800, the sum is still 9. So basically any multiple of 9, the sum of the digits 1 plus 8, 3 plus 6, 2 plus 7, 8 plus 1, the sum of the digits will always be 9. So this becomes 9, this is 9, so the answer is C. I hope this should be clear, right? And if you have done this, you're absolutely wrong. Again, this is also one of the most common mistakes that people make, that students make while giving the exam, because they are in a hurry and they just, see, oh wow, the answer is matching and it's, it's done so smoothly, so it should be correct. And they just do it and, they input this answer and it's unfortunately completely wrong. I'll tell you what is the correct one, how to solve this correctly. So the point is that a lot of times we make some assumptions and those things are not even mentioned in the question, and we just make the assumptions on our own. For example, we assumed right now that y was an integer because we took y is equals to 1, then we took y equal to, then we took y is equals to 3, then we took y equals to 4. But it is nowhere mentioned in the question that y is an integer. Is it mentioned anywhere? No. It is mentioned that y to the power 4 is an integer. We don't know anything about y in particular. What we can say is that y to the power 4 is an integer, not y. Right? Now tell me one thing. Y to the power 4 is a 2-digit positive odd integer, right? So for example, y to the power 4 can be 25. It can be 25, right? Because 25 is what? 2-digit positive odd integer. So y to the power 4 can be absolutely be 25. One possibility, right? Okay. Now if y to the power 4 is 25, then what can be y square? Y square can either be plus 5 or minus 5, right? I hope this should be clear that y square can be either be plus 5 or minus 5, because if you do y square into y square, it will be 25. If you do y square into y square, it will again be 25, right? Okay. Now tell me one thing. So for simplicity, let's take this case that y is equals to plus 5. Even this is possible, but for now, let's assume this case to be there, right? We know that n is divisible by y square. That means n is divisible by 5. If n is divisible by y square, it means n is divisible by 5, right? So for example, if n is 5, 5 is divisible by 5, absolutely right. If this is 10, 10 can be divisible by 5, absolutely right. This means n is a multiple of 5. You can say it like this, that n is a multiple of 5. Because if n is a multiple of 5, obviously it will be divisible by 5. I hope this should be clear, right? Okay. Which means that n can be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. So n can be any of these values. N can be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, whatever, right? Okay. Now tell me one thing. If we take n is equals to 10, this is one possible value of n, right? N can be equal to 10. So if we take n equals to 10, then what is the sum of digits? If we take n as 10, the sum of digit will be what? Sum will be 1, right? I hope this should be very clear, right? Okay. Now let's assume that n is equals to 90. I mean, obviously 90 is divisible by 5. So 90 is one of the multiples of 5, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, up to 90. It can go till 90, 100, 1 lakh, whatever. So 90 will also be one of the case, right? So 90 is divisible by 5, absolutely right. So n can be 90, right? Now if I say sum of the digits of n, so if you add the digits, so 9 plus 0 is what? 9. That means the sum will be what? 9, right? So let's take this case. If the sum is 1, so obviously 1 is less than 9, right? This is greater. So the answer becomes B for this case. If we talk about 9, so obviously the sum is 9. 9 equals to 9. So in this case, the answer is C. So sometimes the answer is B, sometimes the answer is C. So what is your final answer? The final answer becomes D. I hope this should be clear. So again, these questions are not tough. You just have to, assess them properly, use a little bit of common sense, and then you'll be able to solve them pretty easily. I hope this should be fine. There should not be any issue in this.